Look, there's a lot of things you can do with your time. But what have you done lately? Have you set a world record? Austin Head has, and he joins us now. Old friend of Jane's.
Yes. Hello, Austin.
Yes.
He is a
Steve, what's up?
He's a celebrity here in the Chicago fitness circles. Austin was a trainer at FFC forever and ever, and then he said, bye-bye, Chicago. I'm moving to New York.
And it was the hardest decision ever. I love Chicago.
And you have been reestablished yourself in New York as a lunatic or as a legitimate trainer?
Honestly, basically. My gosh, I felt like it when I would go for training for the world record for most lunges in an hour. I would be training for it, and I live in Dumbo, Brooklyn. So right along the waterfront, it's beautiful. But there's a lot of people there. And as I was going, people were like, what is happening?
Technically, a lunge is defined by going down and touching your bottom knee to the ground, correct?
Yeah, it doesn't have to touch the ground when you're working out, but in the world record, your knee definitely has to hit the ground, and then you have to stand all the way up at the top. So I wore knee pads because it was required to wear knee pads as well because your knee has to hit it all the way to the bottom.
John, you're wearing knee pads now.
I am wearing knee pads now, and I can relate to you because I broke the most lunches in an hour.
That's different. No, that's
Yes.
different.
I won.
Austin, how does one just one day wake up and go, I think I want to break the world record in lunges?
No.
Man, yeah, no, it was kind of a long process. So I turned 30 this last year, so I wanted to do something really big for my 30th birthday. And then one of the PR people that works at Guinness World Record takes my classes. Her name is Amanda Marcus. And I have a billboard in New York City with one of our new clubs at Lifetime. And she saw the billboard and she's like, I think you need to go for this, like a world record. And I'm like, there's no way I could go for a world record. I don't know if you've just heard for pull-ups, they did 8 in 24 hours.
Wait. How many? You dropped out. How many pull-ups in 24 hours?
8,000 pull-ups in 24 hours. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was set in Japan a few months ago.
One person?
I was like, there's one person. Like, isn't that wild?
Well, that's insane.
So I was like,
no, it's insane.
So I was like, there's nothing I could do. I'm like, I don't want to do burpees. I don't want anything like this. And then we started thinking, and she's like, what are you good at? And then I remember in Chicago, because I lived in Chicago up until 2021. And in the pandemic, I would do like some crazy things to stay active. And one of the things was walking lunges. I would do 45 minutes at a time. Now, it wasn't fast. It was literally just going at my own pace, but I would still go. I thought, I don't know how many people could do 45 minutes of continuous walking.
No.
I just did walking lunges around our room and I was tired.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And the record itself is how long? How many? Is it the number of lunges or how far you went?
It's so I did 2 world records. So number 1 was most lunges in an hour, and the previous record was held in Syria, and it was around 2,300. And I did almost 500 over. I did 2,825 lunges
in an hour.
In 1 hour. Yep.
And how do you know when to stop? You're just like, tired. I beat the record. I'm 500 over.
When you're crying so hard, when you're crying so hard, you can't see.
The tears got in my eyes so much. No, but we had the adjudicator there, and then he told me when to stop, and then when the hour was up.
All right. So, and the other record was distance?
The other record was distance, and I was going for the world record for most lunges, and I'm like, man, I'm getting really close to this other world record. So on my last big training day, I'm like, why not just like go for it? So, and it's a full process when you apply for a world record. You have to have an application, you have to have witnesses, you have to have timekeepers. It's a full process. So it took me about a week to get all the paperwork ready for it. And then my last training day, I went for it and beat the world record. And that was I'm the first person to ever break that world record.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's incredibly impressive. Now, if anybody questions whether or not they should train with you, do you just show them your ass?
Yeah, I'm like, look at this thing, you know?
Yeah, because J-Lo called and said, that's ridiculous.
J-Lo's like, I'm taking his class.
J-Lo's been calling me a lot, actually, yeah.
Because lunges help your butt, your hammies, your quads, your calves.
Man, it really helps everything. I mean, I think one of the things that I took away the most is really how much it's helped me, like, mentally. That it's not that I'm the most in-shape person ever, but But it really is that I was able to trigger mindset, and it gave me so many different techniques. One of the techniques was called stacking. So I would think about why I wanted to do this and like how many people I was going to impact. And I kept on like stacking things on why I'm doing this, my why. And it really did help me achieve so much. And I don't just apply that for lunging. Now I do it for other things, for my career, for my relationships. And it really has helped all areas of my life, which is pretty cool.
And by the way, you said you helped so many people. You were also raising money to help local children, correct?
Yeah, so we raised money for the Lifetime Foundation. We raised $9,600 for the Lifetime Foundation, and almost $2,500 of that was in the 1 hour attempt that I was going for. So in like 2 to 3 weeks, we raised that amount of money.
Good.
And it goes to help a lot of kids in the New York City area. So up to 7,500 underprivileged kids. We have after-school programs for them, and we're partnering with Healthy Planet and planting up to 70,000 trees in urban areas like New York City.
That's great.
So,
I was just curious. I moved some stuff in my garage, and the next day I was sore. So when you wake up the next day, what is that like?
Well, so it's interesting. I've ran the Chicago Marathon a couple times, and that was by far the most sore I've ever been. With the world record, I was already going for it. I was already beating it, so my body was pretty well adjusted. I don't want to say I wasn't sore. I was definitely sore because I pushed on the world record day. I pushed way more than I normally would, so I definitely was more sore. But it wasn't. It's crazy to say it wasn't like the most sore I've ever been. So
wow.
Yeah, and the thing that always, as a superior athlete like you are, the thing that always has happened for me, going all the way back to high school sports and things, which is the last time I was active, was the second day sore was worse than the first day sore. Is that not the case?
It is. So in my training days, like I said, in the training days, I was really more sore than I was for the actual world record attempt because my body was getting used to it. But it would be. So I teach at Lifetime in New York City, and I would do these big training days, and I would also have to teach 30 classes a week. So that was the hardest part of it. There was I would go for a big training day on Sunday, and then Tuesday, all my classes are lower body. So that's the second day after my legs were just, it was honestly, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful I did it. But, man, I'm so thankful it's done.
Why is our trainer crying?
Yeah.
Why is he sobbing in the corner?
Well, Austin,
Why is he making us do this?
It's very, very impressive. You search Austin Head on TikTok, you can see him working, but he's all over social, and I hope he'll come back. You're a fascinating guy.
I would love to come back. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
And Austin, you'll be so proud of Steve. He's been holding a squat the entire interview.
You better be. And Jane, you better be reverse lunging while we're interviewing.
She lunged around the room in the break before the interview.
I did. I got out of breath, Austin.
Jane, I believe that.
Jane, you can't stop her. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Austin.
it.